What a day. Alright, I gotta get to work. I will see y'all in the next video. Hey, what's up guys? It's Mythiker here. Thanks for tuning in to my channel, Travel with Myth. Super exciting, a great channel full of contagious positivity, positive vibes, a good word, exploration, travel, hotel reveals, food reveals, reviews, just some really fun things to do in cities all over the United States. So that's what the channel is about. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I'm excited to tell you an amazing story about Monday. So it's Monday. So Monday morning I wake up at 4:15, no pressure. I'm saying, okay, I gotta go catch my flight. And I'm in Mobile, flight's in Pensacola. No problem, no pressure. It's Monday, right? The first thing I do is listen to a little bit of Michael Todd before I listen to Dr. Miles Monroe. Michael Todd is an amazing pastor, spiritual leader out of Transformation Church in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And so that morning, I woke up and he was praying. He was talking about the power of the Holy Spirit. And I was like, oh, come on, brother. Let's go, man. That's hey, the Holy Spirit, you gotta have it. It's not extra. It's not like ketchup or a condiment. The Holy Spirit is important. It's valuable. It's just as valuable as having a relationship with God, right? Or having a relationship with Christ. You have to have that same reverence to the Holy Spirit. He's not a condiment. He's not an extra, okay? So when he talked about the Holy Spirit that morning, he was saying he was led to pray for a family in Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas, Leslie and Leon. So Leslie was battling with depression. Leon, 7-year-old kid, diagnosed with cancer. And so he was just so led, spiritually led by the Holy Spirit to just send out prayer missiles, prayer bombs. So that got me fired up. So I started praying for Leslie. I started praying for Leon. I don't even know who they are. I just know they needed prayer. So Monday morning, right? Let's talk about Monday. So 4:15, I'm up, I'm praying for Leslie, I'm praying for Leon, and I'm thinking, wow, I gotta go catch my flight. What great way to start your day off than worshiping and praying with the Holy Spirit, right? You can't start off no better. So I get dressed, I'm a late packer, so I'm packing, I'm throwing my things in the bag, and I'm leaving the house. As I leave the house, I double check to make sure I lock the door. Then I go back and I double check again. For some strange reason, I have a bad habit of not locking doors. Don't understand why. Antonio used to tell me about it. My sister talks to me about it. When I was in the Woodlands and I had the house there, my boys used to come by and be like, bro, your door not locked. So anyway, I just had a bad habit of not locking doors. Even my car doors, I wouldn't even lock the car doors. Something with me and keys, we just don't get along. But anyway, heading to Pensacola Airport. So I'm leaving the Mobile downtown area. I'm going to go pick up my nephew because I'm going to let him use my car the week that I'm gone. Okay, so I pick him up, and we're heading to the airport. Now we're hitting the tunnel. Okay, so if you know anything about Pensacola and Mobile, there's a tunnel and then a bay bridge. Okay, so we hit the tunnel and I'm doing 90, and we're listening to Dr. Miles Monroe, right? Talk about the future, talk about discovering your purpose, talk about leaving it in the past. I mean, just an amazing worship time in the car heading to the airport, right? So I'm inspiring my nephew. How do you leave a legacy, right? Through inspiration. So I'm inspiring my nephew by listening to Dr. Miles Monroe. I'm tapping him like, you hear this? You know, and so we're just worshiping, right? We're on our way to the airport, hit the tunnel, hit the Bay Bridge. 2 minutes, I'm telling you, not even 2 minutes as I got on the bridge, I started hearing a da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and I'm like, why is the car vibrating? You know what I'm saying? Like, it was violently vibrating, and I was like, okay, something's not right. And so I'm already in the left lane, and I'm doing 90, right? And so as I'm speeding this causeway, because I'm trying to get across the bridge, you know what I'm saying? The goal is to get on the bridge, but to get off, right? And so I'm on this bridge and I'm flying, and boom! I'm like, okay, that's the rear right tire. Let's get out of the way and get this thing changed, okay? But this is very dangerous. You cannot change a tire on a bridge. That's extremely dangerous. I mean, first of all, you'll get a ticket. They're not even, like, law enforcement's not even playing about that. You're not going to change a tire on a bridge. That's dangerous. Okay, so I get over to the left lane and I'm thinking to myself, man, it would be so much faster if I could just back up off this bridge. But I can't. I'm already onto it and I got about five or six more miles to go with a flat tire. So, who do you call at 5 o'clock in the morning, right? So, I call my sister. She lives in Daphne. So, Daphne and Spanish Fort is on the other side of the bridge. So she lives there. So I was like, okay, I'll call my sister, see if I can get her up, and then she can meet us. And I'm telling my nephew, I'm like, listen, my sister has a crazy phobia about bridges. Bro, we gotta pray before we even call her. Because I'm telling you, Monique is not going to get on this bridge. And I'm like, bro, she'll come and get us. She ain't got no problem. You know, she'll wake up, she'll come get us, but she's not gonna come get us on this bridge. We're gonna have to get off this bridge in order for her to pick me up. Like, facts. It's like, I'm not even kidding, saying we gotta creep. I mean, this is gonna be a turtle ride till we get off the bridge. And so I said, hey, we're not gonna let the enemy stop us from worshiping. Put Dr. Miles Monroe back on and let's just creep. I said, obviously, God's plan, God's design has us here for a reason, right? And so we're worshiping and we're playing Dr. Miles Monroe's sermon, and it's about an hour and a half sermon too. So we're into it. You know what I'm saying? We're into it and we're creeping, right? We get about halfway across the bridge, then a service truck. One of the service trucks comes along and says, pulls up behind us, and his lights flashing. My nephew gets out, goes back and says, hey, listen, we're just trying to get to the exit. The guy said, no problem, I will follow you. I'll throw my big lights on and push everybody to the left so that you can get there safely, which was great. Again, God shows up, right? And again, we're talking about Monday. This is Monday, y'all. So God shows up, right? So the guy's behind us and we're safely getting across the bridge, right? Uninterrupted, okay? Because the enemy's job, his whole job is to interrupt, right? He wants to interrupt your day, interrupt your travels, interrupt, disturb, seek, kill, and destroy, right? So he's trying to destroy our worship service that we're having in the car. He's trying to destroy the fact that I'm not going to make my flight on time. He's trying to destroy, like he's just busy, right? But he can't. He gets no victory. He took a big L, right? So we're getting across the bridge. My sister said, no problem. I ain't getting on that bridge. I'll meet you at the Burger King, okay? So we finally make it to the exit. The guy was like, hey, do you have everything you need? Do you need a jack? What else you need? I'm here to serve. What an amazing guy. So it's almost 6 o'clock in the morning. And the guy was like, hey, do you need anything? What else you need? You're good. And we're like, yeah, we're good. We're okay. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much for following us. I got it from here. So I told my nephew, I said, hey, I'm going to go try to make the flight. Do you think you can do this? Do you think you can change the tire? Do you think you can, get to work? Because he was using the car to get to work, right? And so I was like, you think you can get to work? And he was like, no, I got it. No, I can do it, man. I can change the tire. I can put the spare on and I can get to work and we'll get a tire the next day or whenever I get off work, right? So, okay, cool. I know that it was in good hands. No worries. So my sister loaded the trunk up. And I was like, okay, we got 1 hour. Maybe we can make it. Maybe we can't. Flight leaves at 7:20. It's 6:20. And it's about 30 or 40 minutes away, right? Now, I know my sister, I ain't gonna reveal her age, but doggone it, she younger than me. But she drive, she drive like my grandma, you know what I'm saying? And I get it, you know. She was comfortable, I ain't want to push her, so we just sat there. And we creeped along, you know what I'm saying? She stayed in her right lane, and we creeped along, and we got to the airport safely, which was the goal. The goal was to get to the airport safely, so we got to the airport safely with no problem. I love my sister, she's amazing. I really appreciate you for picking me up and saving the day. You were my hero on that Monday. We're still talking about Monday, right? So I get inside the airport, I take my bags out, talk to my sister, tell her I'll see her later when I get back that Friday. And I go inside to American Airlines. And the lady is checking me in, and she looks familiar. But I wasn't sure, you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't sure. And so, you know, we're sitting there, we're having a small conversation. And I asked her about someone that I used to work with named Mo. And I was like, man, is Mo still here? And she was like, no, Mo's last day was, you know, Saturday. He's off to California. So I was like, oh, wow. I said, me and Mo used to be on the curb together, man. We used to skycap. And she was like, she looked back and she was like, wait, what? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, I said, I'm Pooh. And she said, oh my goodness, I haven't seen you in years. I did the security. I used to do the traffic. Worked for the city. And I was like, oh wow, yeah, hi, how are you? And she gave me a hug, and then she was like, man, you used to be scary.
It was at this moment that he knew. He knew.
So that right there told me, you guys are not getting any more food reveals or reviews. I'm fasting. So yeah, she was like, yeah, you used to be skinny. You kind of fasting. No more food reveals for you guys. So anyway, we get checked in. She grabs my ticket and she says, hey, listen, every flight to Boston is full. Every flight, no matter where I can fly you out of. LaGuardia, full. DC, full. Dallas, full. Charlotte, full. Your best chances to get to Boston is going to be Charlotte. If I can get you to Charlotte, you have 5 flights, five chances to get to Boston. If I can get you to Charlotte, but I don't know if I can get you out of Charlotte to Boston. Let's go for it. You know, I said, well, hey, let my bosses know, you know, that I'm having travel woes, right? We're talking about Monday. And so Monday is showing up for real. So I'm sitting in there and I'm like, okay, all right, let me make some phone calls. So I make some phone calls and tell my boss, I was like, hey, listen, flight, da da da. And he's like, okay, put in an email, send it to me. No worries, this stuff happens, it's all good. So I eventually get out of Pensacola to Boston, okay? So now I'm in Boston and the plane lands and I'm checking my 5 flights, okay? One of my 5 flights was at 3:55 out of Charlotte, okay? I remember it clearly because we landed at 3:45, okay? So that's like, okay, I have 10 minutes to run to this gate and see if I can make it, okay? We flew into B2, okay? We arrived at gate B2 in Charlotte Airport. I needed to go to B16. So I was blessed that we were in the same terminal and the same concourse, okay? So that increased my chances of making the 3:55 flight. I got off the plane and it was 3:46. 3:46. I deplaned at 3:46. So I'm running, okay? I'm running. I make it to the gate and the gate closes 15 minutes prior. it was closed when I landed. Okay, but I didn't know that. I wish I would have knew that. I wish I would have paid attention to the boarding passes that say the flight closes 15 minutes prior to boarding. Okay, so so if you're not there in 15 minutes, if you leave the gate area, okay, this is a travel tip for you guys. If you're traveling and you leave the gate area and you're not there 15 minutes prior to boarding, legally they can give your seat away. Okay, your seat can be gone. They're going to make an announcement. They're going to call you. If you don't answer that call within 15 minutes, your seat is gone. Okay, so I'm running, I get to B16, boom, flight closes. So I'm waiting. The next one is at C10. Okay, so another concourse, another run. All right, that was in an hour. And then I'm waiting and I'm waiting because someone's in front of me getting rerouted on the same Boston flight. And so they're taking care of them. Then there was someone else in front of me, so they're taking care of them. So then it's my turn. And I'm like, oh, let's go, hurry up. And so I finally get to the counter and the guy said, hey, you're Mythiker, yeah. And I was like, yes, sir. And he was like, dude, you're number one. You're number one on standby. And I was like, okay, cool. How many standbys is it? And he was like, oh, it's like 12, 14, 15, 16, 20. It's 22 standbys. So I was like, okay, cool. So I'm number one on the standby list. I ain't got to worry about nobody below me. So I take my time to get to C10, okay? So now I'm at gate C10 and I look at the monitor and it says 44 standbys. I'm still number one, but the fact that the monitor said 44 standbys and each flight is full, my mind is like, what is going on in Boston? Why are every flight full going to Boston? And I still don't have an answer. So, you know, it is what it is. I'm gonna assume vacation, spring break, people coming back from Mexico, Florida, and things like that, back to Boston. That's what I'm gonna assume, okay? So, I'm there, I'm waiting. I did not make the cut. Every seat was full. Everyone that was supposed to be on the flight got on the flight. And mind you, I'm number one on the standby list. So I'm like, okay, what is going on? This is crazy. So then I go to the next gate, which is D10. Okay, so I was at B16, C10. Now I got to go to D10. Now, mind you, these are all different concourse. So I've probably walked about 5 miles inside the Charlotte airport, and I've been there all day. Okay, so I'm trying to be healthy. I go to Jumbo Juice. Shout out to Jumbo Juice, by the way, because they liked and restoried my story. So that was huge. So I appreciate Jumbo for doing that. Thank you so much, Jumbo Juice. So anyway, I get to the next gate at D10, and there's 50 standbys. Now I'm number two. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. First of all, I've been traveling since 7 a.m. and it is 7 p.m. I've been traveling for 12 hours. How did I go from not being number one? Why am I all of a sudden number two, right? And so apparently someone gave up their seat earlier so that someone else could fly. So then they put him ahead of me. Anyway, so Steve was ahead of me. Now, I don't know who Steve is. I've never seen Steve before a day in my life, so I don't know what Steve looks like, right? So I'm number two, Steve is number one, and we're waiting, and this flight is full. And if you know anything about waiting for standbys, you're waiting for people to get jammed up in customs. I know this is bad thinking, but I'm telling you, this is what, you know, my desire, right? My inner desire was, okay, they're not going to get out of customs. They're not going to make this flight. You know what I mean? So as the flight starts to close, it gets closer and closer to closing. We keep seeing people coming, right? So there was a gentleman standing away from the gate area, right? So all the standbys are all spread out, they're all just spread out. And I saw this guy standing here, and I don't know who he is. I just walked up to him and was like, man, this is crazy. Like, I'm hoping I can get on this flight, just making small talk. And guess who it was? Steve. Now, I had no idea that was Steve. Steve didn't have no idea that I was Mythiker. We didn't know that we were 1 and 2, right? And it's crazy how God gravitated us together, you know what I'm saying? Because we were standing right there by side each other, just having small talk, and he happened to be Steve. So I was like, God, that's really cool. Well, that was cool, because I could have stood by anybody and had small talk, but I happened to be standing by Steve. So I like how God does stuff. He always does stuff in the way that he's supposed to do it, right? So me and Steve are standing here, we're having small talk, and we're like, he's a traveler, I'm a traveler, so we're both looking at people as they're running, and like, they're running to this gate. You know what I mean? Like, oh, okay, there goes 6 more people, that means there's 6 less seats left. You know what I mean? And so we're sitting here, we're having this conversation, and then all of a sudden, the lady started calling people. And the people she was calling, they wasn't showing up, right? So I'm like, man, okay, it looks like we may have a chance. And so she was like, can I get Steve? Steve, can you come up to the counter? And I said, Mythiker, because I knew I was behind Steve, right? And she was like, yes, Mythiker, please come to the counter. So me and Steve go and we grab our tickets. Guess what? We're sitting next to each other on the plane. We have an amazing conversation. I've talked to Steve about God. I'm sharing Jesus with Steve, and we're just having this amazing conversation. While I'm there, right, let me show you how amazing God is, because this is what led into me and Steve having a great conversation. While I'm sitting on the plane, now I have to make a phone call, okay? So this is how God works, and he shows up. So I said, God, I'm on this plane, I'm showing up, I'm putting in the work, I'm doing the effort. God takes care of the results every time, okay, with no hesitation. He does that, right? And so I'm putting in the work. I picked the phone up and I said, I gotta call UPS. So I called the UPS store and I said, hi, it's Mythiker, I'm on a plane. You guys close in 15 minutes. My cabin door is about to close shortly, so I have to make this a brief conversation. I said, I don't get in until about 10:30. Your store is going to be well closed by the time I get in. I said, is it any chance possible that I can get you to deliver the 4 UPS boxes to my hotel? Now, I understand you have to verify ID. Okay, you have to have an ID in order to receive the packages. Okay, but here's the catch. The hotel requires an ID in order for you to check in. They can verify that I am who I say I am. Okay, so if you could please be so kind and help me, this would be great. That way I could at least do my job tonight, right? And she's like, oh, she's the owner, right? I'm talking to the owner now, right? And she's like, oh, this is a lot. I don't know if I could do that. I mean, man, I really want to help you. I don't know if I've never done this before. This is kind of out of our, you know what I mean? Like, we don't do this. And there's no one can come and pick it up. And I said, I don't know anyone in Boston. That's why I'm flying to Boston to do a job. I don't have friends there. I don't know anyone in Boston that could do that. And if you could, please be so kind. Like, I'm not taking no for an answer. You know what I'm saying? Like, humbly speaking to this lady with all passion that I have, I am convincing her that this is a great idea. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm putting in her mind that she is about to be a hero. She is going to save the day, right? Again, we're talking about Monday, right? So we're sitting here. I'm on the plane. Steve is like, oh my God, he is working this lady. Right? And so she decides, she said, hold on, let me ask a question. So there was another guy there in the store, and she said, hey, he's flying in, and he has his ID to check into the hotel. Can he call the hotel and say, hey, UPS is dropping off boxes for Mythiker? The hotel verified that that's Mythiker. Then when he gets there with his ID that says Mythiker, that verified the boxes. That verified that he is who he say he is. And the guy was like, yeah, that actually makes sense. Yeah, that actually makes sense. Because he can't check in without verifying. And yeah, so yeah, I'll take the boxes over there. So the employee decided that he would help me. So he loaded the boxes up. I got off the phone with them. I called the hotel and said, hey, listen, I have 4 UPS boxes coming from Mythiker. Can you please hold them at the front desk for me? Because as soon as I get in, I need one of those boxes for the Starbucks store that I'm going to be doing the integration at. And he's like, yeah, sure, no problem, I got you. So I hang up and I'm saying, man, God is so good. Man, God, that's amazing. You know what I mean? Like, only God could do that, right? And the whole time I'm thinking, okay, why am I missing my flight? Why am I having these delays? Why didn't I get on the 7 o'clock? Why didn't I get on the, and I'm reflecting on why I didn't make all of those flights. And it was because I needed to sit right next to Steve so that he can witness God. He can witness how amazing God is and how God shows up. He was so impressed with God that he didn't even know it was me talking and doing it. He was like, dude, I've done many business transactions. I've sat in many business meetings. First of all, you're talking to UPS. You just convinced the UPS lady to do something that they don't do. This is UPS. Bro, who are you? You know what I'm saying? And I was like, man, I love Jesus. You know what I'm saying? I love Jesus and I love people. You know, and he was like, man, I could tell the way you talk, dude, man, you're amazing. You know, and I was like, no, God's amazing. You know what I'm saying? Because he put me here to sit next to you so that you and I can have this conversation. And he was like, wow, man, that's amazing. And me and Steve talked on the plane until we got to Boston. 2.5 hour flight. And we just talked about sports. We talked about God. We talked about family. We just shared, you know, great conversation. We couldn't, and it was just all God, man. It was just all God. So to God be the glory. Monday, you didn't win. You didn't get the victory because in the end, God shows up and he showed out. So sorry this video is extra long, but I just had to share this amazing story about Monday. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next video. Enjoy the hotel reveal. Whew. All right, guys. So finally made it to the hotel, and I'm at the hotel in Boston, Massachusetts. We're at the Marriott. I don't know exactly where, but it's waterfront. Sorry, waterfront. We're at the waterfront Marriott, and so getting ready to do the hotel reveal. It was a really long day. Took forever to get here. I started traveling at 7 this morning, and it's already 10 p.m. at night. So I've been traveling all day, just because it's been busy. Flight's been busy. I missed my flight this morning, and missing that flight jammed me up really bad. So let's get ready to do this hotel review. Let me see what room I'm in again. Alright, so we got.
There's the key. I'll put it in this pocket. There you go. I'll put it in this pocket. Okay, well, I had to put it in this pocket. Okay. Yep, there it is. Okay, so we got 431. It's gonna be in that direction. So let's go. 431. Alright, let's go. So I'm gonna get in the room and then change real quick and head out to my job. So I'm gonna try to do a job tonight, even though it's really late and it's after hours. I have a key, I have an alarm code, so I'm still gonna try to get the job done because that's what I came here to do, get the job done. And here we go. So let's go, guys. Let's go check it out. I'm going in the room.
Alright, let's turn some lights on. Okay. You guys are seeing it as I see it. Ooh. So this is nice. All right, dishes. Okay, got some clean dishes. Nice little kitchen area. Look like a little small hotel. I mean apartment. Electronic. Nice little lounge area. That's good. Ooh, now that's nice. I'll take it. Let's turn some more lights on. Okay. How does these work? Oh, they're on the side. So what do y'all think? Nice. How does it look? Looks good, looks clean, looks neat. Let's go check out the bathroom. Okay, vanity. What's up? Let's go. Nice little walk-in, okay. Got the walk-in shower. Yeah, looks real clean. What y'all think, guys? We good? We safe? We sanitized? What a day. All right, I gotta get to work. I will see y'all in the next video.
I don't wanna wait. I don't wanna take my time, but baby, it's okay. Don't know where I'm going. I like the side you're showing. Boy, you got me running, running, running.